And the 84th Texas Legislature convenes in Austin this afternoon, and Ann Arnold is in Austin with the details on the session. We're going to check in with her now. Good morning, Ann.
Good morning. Texas lawmakers will be sworn in today, and they now know how much money they have to spend. Newly elected Comptroller Glenn Hager says the Texas economy is strong, but the future is not altogether certain. Texas lawmakers will start the 84th legislative session with a surplus of $7.5 billion, bringing the total they can legally spend over the next 2 years to around $113 billion. That money comes primarily from sales tax dollars, which are up about 9% over the last biennium. Another big chunk, the less certain oil and gas industry, which, with falling oil prices, is forecast to bring the state about 14% less than the last budget period. Despite that, Hager says the Lone Star State is far from being in dire straits economically.
I am in no shape, form, or fashion saying that Texas is going into a recession. I believe that Texas is a very strong state. We are predicting a more moderate growth rate, but Texas is still a pretty good place to call home.
Oil is sitting around $46 a barrel, a nearly 50% drop over the last year, which has some concern that many lawmakers will not be able to deliver on their promises of tax cuts. Governor-elect Greg Abbott and new Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick have both promised sweeping tax cuts. Some public policy advisors and analysts disagree on whether tax cuts will be possible over the next 2 years, with questions over oil revenue.
We're falling behind on highways where it's easy to see, and in education and health and human services. So clearly we have good uses for all the revenue that's available, and they should definitely take priority over any consideration of tax cuts.
I think it's an estimate that will give the legislature plenty to work with, including an opportunity to do some tax cuts as well.
Maintains that lowering the tax burden remains a priority. He just says lawmakers will have to stick to a budget. Meanwhile, those lawmakers will be sworn in this afternoon. We will have the highlights for you coming up tonight. From Austin, I'm Ann Arnold. Back to you.
All right, Ann, thank you. Now you can follow